What they're saying is if you have at least 5 Chase cards, whether they are the Freedom Flex, the Unlimited, the Sapphire Preferred or Reserve, World of Hyatt, co-branded cards, United cards, whatever it is, if you have
Mm,
5 and you apply for a new Chase card online, you will not get an automatic approval. You're going to get
mm.
the message that says,
Hey, what's going on, guys? Calvin Russell here, CEO and founder of 850 Club Credit. Super excited to bring you all yet another guest speaker. Listen, he needs no introduction. He's actually one of our newest 850 Club content contributors as well, too. Okay. So, of course, you guys have been seeing Joe on many of our interviews because this guy always has the inside scoop of what's happening with these credit card companies. And he's got some information that listen, a very small people have access to this information, but I'm not going to hold you guys up. Go ahead, listen, get your notepads out, get ready to take some notes because you're about to get some information that a lot of people don't have. Of course, I want to introduce you all to Mr. Joe Barreto. Joe, can you hear us okay?
what's going on, Calvin? Hola, mi gente. How you doing? I could hear you perfectly.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks again for, carving out your schedule per usual, Joe, and just giving us the information like you always do, sir. We greatly appreciate you.
My pleasure.
All right. So now you said recently that there have been some changes with Chase and their credit card applications. And this is a little bit different because you were actually on the phone with multiple Chase Bank representatives, including the VP of the branch and the supervisor of credit card applications. I don't even know how you were able to do that. But either way, listen, you got to tell us, what is Chase Bank changing or updating now?
What I noticed was a couple of nights ago, I applied live. I made a big mistake, and all my information showed up on the screen for like 3 minutes, even my mother's maiden name, which was hilarious, bro. But I
Yeah,
kept plowing through it. I
yeah.
applied for the IHG card from Chase, and it didn't say approved and it didn't say deny. So
Mm,
I said, what's going on with this? This is weird because I was under Chase's 524 rule. I knew I was under, right?
okay, okay,
So I have a person that I have a contact with at the branch at Chase, the VP,
okay.
and then she put me on a three-way call with the supervisor for credit card applications. And what I was
Mm,
told was, which was rare,
yeah.
that since December of last year, Chase had been clamping down on applications, especially first for the Inc. business cards. So if you had a
Mm,
business card with Chase, they weren't doing the approvals as quickly, and they were limiting the availability of the numbers of Inc. cards available to Chase customers.
okay.
Then now fast forward to personal cards. What they're saying is if you have at least 5 Chase cards, whether they are the Freedom Flex, the Unlimited, the Sapphire Preferred or Reserve, World of Hyatt, co-branded cards, United cards, whatever it is, if you have
Mm,
5 and you apply for a new Chase card online, you will not get an automatic approval. You're going to get
mm,
the message that says, thank you for submitting your application. We will get back to you, in 2 to 3 days. So I took that automatically when I got that, and I was live with my subscribers. I was live, and
yeah.
I said, "Wait a minute!" I called Recon right then and there, and the
Mm,
guy told me. So here at 850 Club Credit, mi gente, we're always trying to find out new ways to help you stay on top of your credit and finances. So if you're ready to finally organize your credit cards and payments all in one place, download our free credit card tracker. It's a simple Google Sheet that helps you manage up to 15 cards, track your payments, and stay on top of your finances. All you need to do is just scan the QR code or check the description box below for instant access. He said, "Oh, maybe we need to reallocate your credit lines because I had at that point 9 credit cards with Chase. We have to
okay.
reallocate from this card, take money out of that, put it onto a new card to approve you."
Wow.
And I was like, he's like, "Are you okay with that?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm okay with that. It's a hotel card. I just wanted. But what I realized the next morning when I got the email from Chase and it said I was approved,
Mm,
it didn't have an amount. When I went and opened up my app, the card was already there with a $15,700 credit line. They
wow.
didn't reallocate anything. So that guy
Wow.
didn't know what he was talking about. The supervisor clarified for me
Yeah.
that it's that they're on anything over 5 cards. Chase is doing what Amex has been doing forever. Amex has that rule, and we've talked about this before, where if
Yeah.
you have 5 of their cards, not charge cards,
Yeah.
credit cards, you will not be accepted for the 6th, right?
Mm,
And Amex has it even that if you have a loan with them, so if you have 4 cards in a loan,
okay.
they won't approve you. So Chase pulled this
Wow.
out of their playbook, and now Chase is not necessarily denying you automatically, but they're
Mm,
doing a hand review of your applications. So
really?
if you
Wow.
apply for a card today, and this is why I wanted to bring this up to you today, they
Yeah.
have a lot of new offers for the
Mm,
Chase Sapphire Reserve, which is brand new, refreshed, $7.95 a year with a lot of benefits. The Sapphire Preferred, they just increased their sign-up bonus, and a hotel card like the IHG card is giving you 5 nights at 60,000 points a night, which is enough for intercontinental hotels. You're talking
wow.
5 nights at high-end hotels for $95 card. That's why I went to get the card. Do I need the
Yeah.
card? No. But it helps. So I'm
Yeah.
telling people now, if you're applying for any Chase card and you've got 5, don't if they don't give you the approval right away, don't think that you were denied like I did.
Mm,
Wait
wow.
the next morning, because I did the application at night. The next morning by 8:47, I got an email saying I was approved. So it's
Wow.
just news that was given to me that no one else got.
Yeah.
And it's the relationship. It goes back to relationships that we always talk about. If you have a relationship at the bank, at the credit union that you have a banking with, things of that nature, it goes a long way.
Wow. That's huge. That really is huge, guys. So, like, listen, you guys just heard it directly from Joe. Okay. The relationships you have with these banks and credit unions plays a major role. Now, Joe, let's take a step back before we get into some other questions I have for you. Just so, because there's different, everyone's watching this, they know different levels of education on credit cards. So, I want to make sure people can kind of get caught up. Number
Okay.
one, what is the credit card IHG? What type of credit card is that?
International Hotel Group. So
Got it.
they're the ones that go from Holiday Inn and
Yep.
Holiday Inn Expresses
Yep.
to Kimpton Hotels and
Mm,
the Intercontinental Hotels, which, just to put in perspective, you're looking at like Ritz Carlton,
yeah.
high-end level hotels like that, category 8 hotels from Hyatt and so on. That's what we're
Wow.
looking at.
Major. That's major. Then we have some people that may not understand what is the 524 rule with Chase Bank.
So Chase has the weirdest rule in the credit card industry, which is
Insane.
if you have 5 credit cards from anybody, so I'm talking Wells, Amex, Bank of America, Discover, Capital One, Chase. If you opened up 5 cards in the last 24 months, they will deny you. Now, I'm going to have people that know this, that are in the space. Can you get a card every once in a while? Yes. Normally, if
Yeah.
it's a high offer on a specific card or a co-branded card like the Chase Prime Visa card from Amazon. So
Okay.
that's the Amazon Prime card. I was way over 524 in November, and
Right.
I still got the card because they had a special sign-up bonus, and they kind of are able to skirt, and they have these unofficial contracts with Chase that will allow you to apply for their card because it's really Amazon's card. So
Mm,
Amazon will dictate the terms, and they
yeah.
want people to buy it and use it and get that $200 gift card. So they kind of bypass the rules. Same with co-branded cards from airlines and hotels. So like IHG, Marriott hotels, if it's a high offer, if you go online and it says best ever high offer or
Mhm,
highest offer in 2025, you could still take a shot. Will you get denied? You might, but there's
mhm.
also the opportunity for you to get the card no matter what, if you have a good credit history with them.
That's right. Okay. Man, that's good information to know. And then the next thing is you say you spoke to a recon department. What is that? Or how did you
So
even find? Yeah.
recon,
Explain that.
Chase is kind of the best at recons, and
Okay.
what they have a line now. They have a special line that you can call. It's called the reconsideration line. So if you got
Okay.
denied for the card, you call this number. Normally they tell you to call the next day. I was live with like 160 people online. I was like,
Wow.
let me call. So, and
For
the guy
real.
gave me bad information. That was
Wow.
always hilarious. Which is for you guys to learn. If you don't like what they're telling you,
I
Yeah.
kid you not. If you think they're reading off a script,
If you're looking for a personal loan option that looks at more than your credit score, and you're looking for something that has a soft pull to see the terms and the monthly payments and such, go ahead and scan this QR code or click the link in the description below to learn more. Now back to the video.
hang up and call back and ask to speak to a supervisor.
That's right.
So this recon line Chase has, it's just if you were denied. And it
Yeah.
turned out that he said to me, "You're not denied. We're manually reviewing your application." And I was
Mm,
very specific. I said, "I'm under 524. I have an 844 FICO score.
mm,
I have 9 of your cards. I don't know what else to tell you other than, can you please," and I literally said this, "put a note on the file when they're reviewing it that I feel that I am entitled to this card because of my standing with you guys in the years I've been in business with you."
yeah.
And he said, "I will note all of that," and so on and so forth. But that's the recon line. If they deny you, only to
Got it.
find out that I wasn't denied, it's that they're really clamping down on churners. Credit card churners are people, and this is what the supervisor told me. Now I just remembered it.
Yeah.
What happens is this: if there's a high offer on a card, you get guys that know the system,
Yeah.
will apply and get a card, meet the spend requirement, let's say $5,000 in 3 months,
Okay.
get the points, and then never use the card again. The
Right.
bank doesn't win at that point, right?
Right. Yeah. They,
So
they want you to use the card.
they
That's the
want you to
goal.
use their card as intended, as I was told, right?
Yeah.
So I even told that to the supervisor. I said, "Were you afraid that I was a credit card churner?" And
Mm,
she said, "Even though you have a lot of cards, no, because you have balances on some of your cards." Now,
mm.
people are going to say right now watching, "But we're always told you should never carry a balance."
That's right.
Yeah, in theory, 100%. Real life dictates that if today is July 3rd and my AC went out in my house, guess what? I got to fix that AC, right?
He fixing that AC.
Or if the toilet stopped working, guess
Right.
what? I got to
Yeah.
do that. So there's certain things for the houses, and I have a
Yeah.
house in Florida, and that's what happened to me. But I
Yeah.
was lucky that I had the credit to do it.
Yeah.
And most of the credit that I've done it on have been cards that have no annual fee, no
Gotcha.
APR for the first 12 or 15 months. So I wasn't
Gotcha.
paying interest. I was able to kind of break it up as a loan and pay it off in time.
Gotcha.
So
Perfect.
there you go.
Perfect. Well, listen, we won't just let you just skim past that, Joe, real quick. You see, you gotta hold on, man, because you stay up north on the East Coast here. You got a house in Florida?
Yep. I have a house. It's called Palm Coast. So
Oh,
it's
nice.
between St. Augustine and Daytona. So it's still
Wow.
technically northern Florida,
Yeah.
but right literally like a mile or less from the beach.
That's good
So
to know. Now I got a place to stay if I
no,
come down.
bro, absolutely. Yo, honestly, Calvin,
Yeah.
whenever, bro. I haven't
Bets.
been there in 7 months.
Y'all
Just
heard
so
this.
you guys, and this is being recorded, so he could bring this up in court. I got it.
There you go. There you go, man. Well, and then also too, thank you so much for sharing that, because man, that's information that a person would only have if they're trying to get that card at this time, and in this economic climate. And most people, they just kind of just go through life. They're not, obviously content creators like us, where we're getting that word out. So again, if you all know people that use Chase Bank, they need to know that information right away. Now that leads me to my next question too, Joe. For someone that's, let's say, just starting out, okay, with little to no credit history at all, what's the first credit card you would recommend and why?
Honestly, and a lot of people say this one, and it's just a damn good card, even if you've
Yeah.
had a card for 20 years. The
Hmm.
Discover It card is
Mm,
fire. The
yeah.
categories you get, they change them every 3 months, but you're getting, in the first year of having the card,
Yeah.
not 5% back,
Yeah.
10% back on those categories. And in the first year of having the card, they double your cash back on everything you spent on it for the
Mm,
first year.
wow.
So I would say the Discover It. It's also one of the easiest applications to get approved for.
Yeah.
The other card was, and we just did a video on this one
Yeah.
together, was the Apple card. Apple is pretty
Mm,
easy to get. As I said when I did the video, my son applied for it when he was a sophomore at the University of Pittsburgh and got a $10,000 credit line from
yeah.
Apple.
Wow.
And what's
Wow.
good is, for people that are young and starting out, you get a better return using the phone as a digital wallet with your Apple card, tap to
Yeah.
pay to get 3%. If you use the physical card, which to me makes no sense, but they knock it down to 1%, which is
Yeah.
stupid, but they want you to use tap to pay for the ease
Yeah.
of use. And what I also like about Apple is their app is phenomenal. It tells you what your credit line is. It tells you, it gives you shades of color. If you really spent a lot, it gets dark red.
That's right.
If you've
Yeah.
paid off most of it, it's like a yellow color.
Yeah.
They have a bank that actually gives you really good returns on high yield savings of, still I think 4% or 3.75 or 4%. So
Wow.
you could do a lot through the Apple card. The last card I would tell you that I would tell people, and this one might throw some people off. Capital
Yeah.
One. Capital One hates me because I have a lot of cards. And I get it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, and here's the thing, guys, and I'm very transparent.
Yeah.
I've never had a secured card, but there's
Mm.
nothing wrong with a secured card.
That's
If
right.
that's your way to fix your credit and get you back on the right, the straight and narrow,
Yeah.
get a secured card. A lot of banks offer them. Capital One has them as well.
Yeah.
But that is, you put in 500, you have a $500 limit. You put in 200, you have a $200 limit. And you keep paying it off, and then they see that you're able to maintain that, then they product change you to a regular credit card. But
Wow.
the credit card I would tell you from Capital One to apply for is not the Quicksilver or their Platinum.
Yeah.
It's the Saver card. And the
Mm.
reason is no annual fee, 15 months with no interest on the card. Plus, it's the one card that gives you 3% back on so many categories that it could be your daily driver, as we call it. Food,
Wow.
dining, streaming services, you name it. The things that you actually use, you're going to get 3% back. And that's a
Wow.
powerful card. And
Wow.
if you're early on in your credit card journey,
Yeah.
Capital One is really friendly with you.
They are.
So that's why I would tell you that.
There you go, guys. Listen, this is why we bring Joe, and this is why he's a regular here. Okay, dropping the gems all
I
per
appreciate you.
usual.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate you. And by the way, too, guys, if you all haven't seen Joe's video that he just did on the 850 Club channel, okay, and you want to learn more about the Apple Card and why they're a little more flexible, especially for people that are maybe a little bit newer to credit, they may not have, as strong as a profile. You can learn more about that credit card right there on the channel. And then also, too, even those credit cards that Joe mentioned, as well, if you get denied for any of those cards, guys, it's not the end of the world. You can start off with like a Capital One Platinum, or you could just bring down your balances. There's a reason why, you got that denial, but you can always try again, in 30 days or so. Okay. So now here's another question I had too, as well, too. Now, at what point does it make sense to downgrade or close, let's say, a high fee or high annual fee travel card, even though like you got, and then how do you do that without, like, I won't say dropping your credit score, but what would be the best case scenario with something like that? You're tired of having this high annual fee credit card.
That is a great question. And I'm going to be honest with you. I always tell people
Yeah.
the credit card should work for you and not
Yeah.
the other way around, right?
Mhm.
If
Yeah.
you have a $695 Amex Platinum card and you're not flying and you're not traveling
Mhm.
and you don't have Walmart Plus and you don't have these streaming services, why the hell would you pay almost $700 to have a card just to say that it looks pretty?
Yep.
Big deal, right?
Wasted money. Wasted money.
It is a waste of money. On
Yeah.
top of that,
Yeah.
here's the difference, and I chose that card for a reason.
Yeah.
It's a charge card. So
Mm.
it doesn't report the same as a credit card because you don't have a credit limit assigned to it.
Can you
Remember
explain
that.
it? Can you explain that a little bit further, Joe? So the difference between, let's say, a charge card and a typical credit card, how does that work?
So a charge card is a card that you're supposed to pay
Yeah.
by the end of the statement period closing date
Okay.
in full. Okay, in full.
Yeah.
So if you apply, and this is how Amex does it, to give all of you an example.
Yeah.
They have three main charge cards: the green, the gold,
Mhm.
and the platinum.
Yeah.
They tell you don't have a credit limit,
Mm.
but on the back end, you do.
Yeah.
Normally for the green, they cap you at about 15 to 20,000. For the gold, it goes up to 35,000, and for the platinum, it's 50 to 75 or even more depending on your income.
Wow.
But they don't report that to the credit bureaus as your credit line. So in other words, with my Amex Platinum, my limit is technically 75,000. But Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion are not seeing, okay, Joe used 1,000 of his $75,000 line. It's just showing that I spent $1,000 and that was it. But that they don't know, so it doesn't hurt your score as much because there's no utilization there.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah.
However, Amex being Amex,
Yeah.
has what they call on those cards pay over time, which is literally another freaking way to just get you by interest on a credit card. So now you could have the platinum, the gold, or the green, not pay it off at the end of the month, and they'll club you over the head with a 23 or 24% interest.
You better believe it
on that one.
Yeah.
But they still don't report it, right? So you're kind of, if you have charge cards, it helps your utilization because there's no number to match it to that they can actually divide by to get that amount.
Yeah.
But that's the main difference between a credit card that has a hard limit and a charge card.
Got it. See? All right. Now that we got that information, okay? So now let's say we're now past this point. We got a few credit cards that we have that we use. However, we want to continue to get more. How do hard inquiries factor into, let's say if you want to start doing some travel hacking, how do hard inquiries factor into travel hacking? And how's the best way to kind of space out those applications? Is there a strategy that you would recommend?
Here's why, and there's a reason why credit card companies, when you open up a new card, and they have a spend requirement, normally it's 3 months or 90 days, right? It's not an arbitrary number. Now, some cards might give you 6 months to meet the spend if it's a high limit that they're looking for, right? Some business cards do it. Amex does it for 6 months and so on. So that could be a card that the spend requirement is 6,000, 8,000, 10,000 or more. All right. Now, if you see that you want to apply for different cards to stack for a trip, to get points for an airline, to get points for a hotel and so on, honestly, what I would tell you is space them apart at least 90 days. There's some credit card companies that'll tell you you could only get one of our cards every 6 months. There's some that, like Bank of America is 1 for 6. Chase lets you do 2 in 30, but it's not really advised. Amex is a little bit more lax, actually a lot more lax on it. Again, as long as you have a credit score that's high enough and the income there to prove it, and you've been a customer for a long time. I did 4 Amex cards in a month, which is stupid. I'm not telling anybody to do that. But my credit card is older than Calvin. It's 36 years old. So that's why I was able to do it.
I'm actually 37. Well, you know what? Hold on.
See, you gotta look up your birthday, bro.
I like it because it hasn't come yet. So I gotta get it right. So I'll be 37 this year. So you are correct. It's the same age as me. So yes.
See? So here's the thing. My thing is that, I wouldn't push the envelope just for the sake of getting a card to get extra points for a trip or whatever. Because if you think about it, the card in theory, if let's say right now, the Chase Sapphire Preferred is offering 75,000 ultimate rewards points. Okay.
Yeah.
For $5,000 spend in 3 months. To get those 75,000 points, you've got to spend 5,000. Guys, if you're going on a trip for a weekend, that's only going to cost you 1,000. Why stress getting a card that's going to charge you $5,000 to spend just to get those points? It's counterintuitive. It makes no sense. So what I tell you, you play the long game. Never just do it for the sake of doing it or because your friend said it was the best thing ever and this card is, don't. Again, I tell you guys, I now have 30 cards. Do I need 30 cards? Hell no. I get the cards for the channel so that I could tell you if the card is worth it or not. I'm not going to Google some stuff and read off the things and say, this is the greatest card ever when I'm 24 years old, let's say, and never had, I'm still living with mommy. That doesn't make sense. right?
Nope.
So I want to get
At
the
all.
cards and use them and
Hmm.
tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly on them.
Yeah.
So I would tell you, if you know, if it's for travel, space them out and plan it this way. Get one solid, if you know you're going to travel more, get
Yeah.
one solid card in one ecosystem. That could be Amex, Chase, Wells Fargo, Capital One, whatever. And that doesn't have to be their top card. It could be the
Yeah.
second card, which is their mid-tier card. So
Yeah.
instead of getting the reserve, the Chase Sapphire Reserve at $7.95, get the $95 Sapphire Preferred, which still gives you travel protections, which still gives you a great amount of multipliers on different things you're going to spend on, as opposed to spending almost $800 on a card that you never know if you're going to use that credit or not. So
Right.
get one card like that. If you're very loyal to a hotel chain, and the reason I tell you this is because if you're loyal to a chain, Hilton, Hyatt, Marriott, whatever,
Yeah.
having a card, some of them are no annual fee, some of them are only $95, but it shows loyalty to them. So when you check in, if there's an upgrade chance, you can get it. They might offer you free breakfast. So you're going to get some perks just for paying that small fee on a card. And then finally, for airlines, I live in Jersey. Newark is my hub. United is the airline that's the biggest there. So I have a card that covers that card alone. That fee will cover the baggage fees that nowadays are so expensive that literally one trip will pay off the card because they covered your fees.
Wow.
So you want to
Wow.
have yourself covered hotel, airline, and one for travel protections and daily spend.
Wow. That's amazing advice, Joe. That's amazing advice. And you know what?
Thank
And
you.
sometimes people are picky, especially on hotel brands and things of that sort. But like you said, getting involved into that ecosystem. And to confirm, when you say ecosystem, what exactly does that mean? That means essentially just building relationships with different banks. Is that correct?
With different banks, with
Yeah.
different chains, for instance. So
Yeah.
here's the weird thing.
Yeah.
Marriott has Chase credit cards and Amex credit cards.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Chase and this, they have this weird contract where if you hold one of the Chase cards, you can't hold one of the certain or in particular Amex cards because there's
Oh,
some similarities there.
yeah.
So right now, Chase is offering their Boundless Marriott Boundless card, 5 nights of certificates worth 50,000 points each. So you're looking at 250,000 points. I
Yeah.
was considering that one or the IHG card. That
Yeah.
card is only $95. On the Amex side, they have um the Brilliant at 695, but the difference
Hmm.
is that one gives you their platinum elite status, whereas the Chase card only gives you silver status.
Mm.
So I'm at the point in my life, and it's not just to be bougie, but it's the truth. At
Right.
58, I'm done. I paid my dues sleeping on a hard bed on the floor with my parents. You took 6 Puerto Ricans in one room, and we got the floor always. That was the
Wow.
deal growing up on vacations, right? My kid doesn't know about that life.
Yeah.
But the Brilliant gives you platinum elite, which means if there's a room upgrade available, you get it. It gives
Yeah.
you lounge access at the hotel where you could eat 24/7 or drink 24/7 access there. Things of that nature. And then the multipliers are higher on the card, so you get bonuses quicker. So
Wow.
that's what that means. So an ecosystem is not only the bank issuer, it's also the loyalty program that you're a part of. What I just
Right.
learned last week, guys, and I want you guys to know this. I never knew, and I'm in this space, that a Sheraton hotel was
Mm.
owned by Marriott. I had
Okay. Did
no
not
idea.
know that. Yeah.
So I took my wife. I had a free night certificate from Marriott that was expiring June 30th. We
Nice.
went to the Four Points Sheraton Hotel in the financial district in New York City, right near the
Mm.
seaport.
Wow.
Because I'm a gold member with Marriott,
Yeah.
the hotel is 29 floors. They put me on the 27th floor. They gave me free breakfast. They sent me chocolates to the room
Wow.
and early check-in, late checkout. I was lucky. Again, it's the brand loyalty. So if you
Brand
know you're going to
loyalty.
stay somewhere, do yourself a favor and to start the least expensive card in that lineup, just to
Yeah.
get your feet wet and get used to having some sort of status.
Yeah. Wow. That's huge. That is huge, especially when people are already kind of making these moves anyway. The type of
100.
credit card that you choose is going to make that well, I would say that experience, potentially better, especially if you have a relationship built.
Yep.
And that's why Joe mentioned that about relationships, and being again a part of those ecosystems and just really maximizing your relationships as much as you can. But listen, Joe, we greatly appreciate you being here, giving
No
us the
problem.
game, at per usual. Okay.
Thank
And
you.
of course, we also appreciate you sticking around to answer just a few questions from the
Absolutely.
850 Club elites. Absolutely, sir. So listen, like I mentioned, guys, listen, if you haven't done so already, of course, you guys are going to get special videos, right here on the 850 Club directly from Joe. But of course, be sure to check out his own YouTube channel as he talks about these things all the time about various banks and various credit cards as well. So thanks again, Joe. We greatly appreciate you
Thank you.
being here. Is there anything that you want to, any last, tips that you want to leave before we
Yeah,
wrap up and get out of here?
I want people to know this. With summertime's kind of underway here in the Northeast because schools just closed, right? In other
Yeah.
places, they might be halfway through.
Yeah.
But you're going to get a lot of offers. You're going to get a lot of credit card offers in the mail, email, Instagram. If you looked up something online, your phone records everything and they know what you're going to look for.
That's right.
Don't just jump at the first thing. Do
Mm.
yourself a favor, look into it and see if that was the highest bonus ever. Because some cards only give you one shot to get the bonuses.
Yep.
Some cards, then you have to wait 4 years to get it again. So you don't want to take a card just for the sake of getting it. I waited forever to get this IG because the previous highest bonus was 175,000 points and I got 300,000.
Wow.
So do yourself a favor, do the homework like Sledge says, do your research, do your homework. If anything that you guys need, just again, we're here to help like that, but just enjoy the summer and be careful when you're picking out those cards and make sure that the cards fit you and not the other way around.
Absolutely. Make sure the credit cards fit you and not the other way around. Thanks again, Joe. We greatly appreciate you, and we'll
Thank you,
see you
Calvin.
in a little bit. Okay.
Yep. I'm going to click over now. You got it.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video.